Hey everybody, this is Herbie Walker. Coming to talk to you today about scholarships and giving you a couple of tips that you can use in regards to your scholarship hunt and what to look out for as far as clues as far as finding the best scholarships, what would really pay off well for you, and as well as looking out for pitfalls. Now, right off the break, I'm going to tell every student when you're applying for scholarships, understand that this is definitely going to be a numbers game. You're going to apply for literally dozens of scholarships, and you're not going to win every single one. But the times you do win, that fruit is super, super sweet. And it does make you a big owner of the process of paying for your own education. So when you actually apply for these scholarships and you win a few, it really starts boosting your ego a little bit. And I wanted you guys to understand that it is possible to go to college entirely on scholarships, but it is a lot of work. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, operative word here when we're talking about scholarships, scholar. That means academically you need to be strong. Not now if you have a 2.0 asking around like I'm going to try to apply for some scholarships, it's going to be harder. It's not impossible, but harder. Scholarships is different than financial aid, which is something I'll cover on a different day. Scholarships is specifically going to be money that's available to students, typically by organizations that want to reward you for your hard work in the classroom, or sometimes maybe even your test score. Now, this is a process that's going to take you all year. Now, if you're a senior and this is the beginning of your senior year, great. Then you have a great lead time to search for scholarships and actually win a few. In the fall, what you really want to do, not unlike when you're applying for your colleges, ask for letters of recommendation from your teachers. You're going to need those for a lot of your scholarships, as they're going to want a reference for somebody. They're going to want a reference from you from somebody within your community, but preferably they want somebody in the classroom. Scholarships are going to present themselves in a few different ways. You'll find some that automatically come to you when you, let's say, apply for when you apply to a university of your choice. You'll automatically get kicked back sometimes a Dean's Award or Presidential Scholarship. Other scholarships, the ones that you're going to find the most success with, are what I like to call community-based scholarships. So if you live in Wisconsin, you want to target scholarships that are available to Wisconsin residents. Every state tends to have a repository or a nonprofit that aggregates a lot of these scholarships and puts them all in one clean space. If you haven't seen that, definitely talk to your high school counselor who can help steer you the right way to some local scholarship opportunities, okay? I'm familiar with a lot of them on the West Coast, but they're all over the country. And then you also have your general Google searches. You can just Google scholarships, see what comes up. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the best way, but you can find a few. They just aggregate a little too much data. I typically end up using software like College Greenlight, CapEx. There's a dozen scholarship search sites. The problem with those scholarship search sites is that it can be too much. There's so much information out there that you don't know how to dissect it, and you can get overwhelmed in filtering it out. But no one said this is going to be easy. The thing with scholarships is that you have got to hunt for it. You have to search websites, these aggregate websites, combing through the little nuances. Look for scholarships within your state, within your interest field, okay? Like I mentioned, reach out to your high school counselor asking for information on scholarships. But typically, I'll say in our state, we actually have two major nonprofits that aggregate tons of scholarships, literally hundreds. And that's often where I'm going to send students to go and start applying. And when you're applying for scholarships, like I mentioned before, you're going to need letters of recommendation a lot of times. Academically, to be competitive for scholarships, external scholarships, you definitely want to be within a 3.2 and up. Ideally, the higher the GPA, the better odds. Unfortunately, just like when you're applying for colleges, your personal statement is going to matter. So you're going to have to put in a lot of effort into crafting this personal statement where you're really coming off as a dynamic student. And these scholarships can be tricky. Sometimes they want 200-word essays. Sometimes they can want up to 1,000 words, right? It's something that you're just going to have to put a lot of work in. There's just no shortcut here. Timeline is important. Ideally, from what the seniors that I work with, the timeline that you typically see is most of the scholarships start advertising right around November of your senior year, all the way into the maybe about April of your senior year. This window is very crucial. Sometimes I get students who come reach out to me in June. They say, Mr. Walker, I got accepted to Bryn Mawr College. I really want to go, and I need to find some scholarships to close the gap. Unfortunately, literally hundreds of scholarships are behind us at this point. So we're going to be playing catch up. There are some scholarships that do come out during the summer, but it's important to know you're going to get the bulk of it in the beginning of your senior year. The other thing I want to mention to you is when that money comes out. If you are in a high financial need and you need your scholarship money to show up day one of college, let's say, not day one of college, but let's say August 1st to pay your student balance. Sometimes those scholarship checks do not come out until September or maybe late August. Got to be careful about that because you don't want to be in a situation where you owe money to the school and you don't know how you're going to pay for things, because you're really depending on that scholarship to come through. Another pitfall I'm going to tell you guys to watch out for is watch what information you give out. Do not put your social security number, your driver's license number on any scholarship application. They do not need that kind of information. Do not pay anybody for the opportunity to apply for a particular scholarship. There are services out there that helps find scholarships for you. That's up to you if you want to go that route. But understand, if someone says, oh, we have a scholarship open, it's going to be $1,000 to the winner and it's only $25 to apply. Red flag, don't apply, okay? There are sites out there that are built and designed to trick you and to steal a little bit of your personal information. And what ends up happening with that, you can find out your credit's been, your identity's been stolen, things like that. Don't make it easy for these guys. So just that real important rule, do not put your personal identifying information like your social security number, driver's license number on any scholarship website application or even a paper application you're submitting. They don't need that information. Okay. So if you're a senior right now, it's the end of spring. It's not too late to find some scholarships. Just know that the bulk of them already pass, but you definitely have to grind. Oftentimes I tell my students, don't be afraid to apply for 100 scholarships. You might get 10. That's just how the numbers work. Okay. And it's your future. So you got to take ownership of this. All right. I'm glad to be here to talk to you guys. I'm going to talk a little bit more about scholarships and financial aid in the future. But again, this is Herbie. Thanks for tuning in. I love you guys at YouTube and I'll be back soon.